how to handle, how to cope with difficult people. And there's another point, at a certain point, the issues have to be brought out into the open, and the issue that was there was beyond Moshe Rabbeinu, was a fight between who's closer to Hashem, etc., and naturally he was involved with the Midos. But the original position, Moshe Rabbeinu tried to handle the situation to cope with this difficult person called Korach. Moshe tries to handle with the difficult people called the Meraglim. But as we talk about sociologically, handling people, getting involved in leadership with people, it can be leadership, you can be a parent with children, you can be in a community, you can be this, or you have a friend. How do you handle difficult people? So we have different types. So if we'll put a brand name to Korach, and we see that Korach wants to undermine Moshe Rabbeinu. He wants to prove he's right, Moshe's wrong, by undermining authority and undermining the person. So the solution to the problem is, don't let him undermine you. Or make it equal, or get rid of this undermining event. Moshe Rabbeinu tries, see it doesn't work, and then he brings forward the real philosophical machlokas that's taking place in order to that the Almighty has to solve the problem. But until that point, it was really basically Moshe tried to handle himself. So I want to explain about handling difficult people. Okay? What is a difficult person? There are different types of difficult persons. There's the Meraglim difficult people. There are in the Torah a lot of difficult situations Moshe had to handle, and we see how he handles. In order to be a leader, you have to handle 7 types of people. And we'll find the different types of people that Moshe had to handle. Right now, we're talking about this person who feels he's right, pushes to the nth degree, like a person who feels he's right, he gets super excited, blows up, tries to find a way, doesn't care if he hurts his friends, doesn't care about relationships or parts, but he wants to prove that he's right. And how does he prove? By undermining the other person and by having people giving him the approval that he's right, to prove that he's right. Okay? So let's get to the story. And then Moshe Rabbeinu sees that it's beyond his strength, and he has to now present to the world, or at least to Korach, confront him, because the way to handle a person that undermines, who blows up, who feels he's right, usually you try to cut it and stay away, and don't change the subject and try to move it in a certain way. But since he saw that it was impossible, so then he brought the problem up, that it's a problem, a philosophical problem, that the Almighty has to, only the Almighty can solve. And that's what he did. And therefore, a miracle had to take place, because it was just a social problem. How come Moshe Rabbeinu could not have solved the problem socially himself? Why did he have to wait for the miracle that the earth opened up and swallowed Korach? So at the beginning, he handles a difficult person, and then at a certain point, he prays to the Almighty should show justice. If it would be that the Almighty would not have listened to his plans, then he would have handled Korach in a certain way, but he wouldn't have brought out the Kiddush Hashem, and the real problem would not have been solved, of who's closer to God, who's holier, etc. Okay, but I'm interested more in the part now of how does Moshe Rabbeinu handle or cope with this difficult person called Korach. So let's talk about, we talked about how Korach, how does he get involved in the story? I don't know if I get involved with it. How does Korach get involved with it? Did I talk about that last week? No? I'll tell you Korach, I'll tell you how it works. The normal way of a person, he feels rejected or feels bad, he has an emotional feeling. Good? Now, what does he do with that emotional feeling? So if you're not Jewish, and you're acting like a goy, or not a religious woman, so you have the feeling, and right away you perceive the situation, or you first perceive and then feel, and you get the bad feeling, and then you use your mind and your intellect, and your understanding how to do what your emotions feel. You feel you're slighted, and this person, you see that he does this to a lot of people, he's really a bad person, so how are you going to get rid of this bad person? So your mind, your intellect, and your different understandings will now use all kinds of ways and maneuvers to remove this bad feeling you have, to show you're right, to show he's wrong, to get even with the person. So you'll speak lashon hara. You will try to hurt the person. You'll be over lo sikum lo sitor. You'll be over. You take revenge with the person, and you'll keep this emotion intact. Okay. Now, what should be done? You should learn from Esav. Esav felt bad that his brother took away his olam hazeh, which are the blessings. He held that emotion inside, and because of respect for his father, he didn't do anything. Normally, if you have an emotion, you'll be frustrated if you don't express it, or do something about it, lashon hara, hurt the person, tell your friends, get your team of people together, use your mind how to hurt it. He's able to hold it in until the time to take revenge. Now, if Esau's able to hold in the emotion, so then what could be done? You'll hold in the emotion, and then you're supposed to, if you feel bad, somebody hurts you, you feel injustice, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to hold it in, and then try to perceive the situation. What do you say as a religious woman? You say, well, maybe I deserve it. Maybe it comes from God. Maybe it's not Hamson, so maybe the person didn't understand the story well. And then try to figure out, and then try to, with your understanding and your logic, perception, not to have your emotion right away, go right ahead and have a reaction. Somebody hits you, you hit back. So therefore, what do? And then after, when you already have worked out your ideas, then at that point you put your feelings in, and you say, listen, I got hurt, so what should I do? What do I do? Is it nice for me to attack or speak lashon hara? Is that the right thing, as the Torah says? Will I take revenge? Am I supposed to gang up a crew of people against him? Should I now hurt him when I have an opportunity to hurt him? Hurt the person? So what should I do? Well, then you gotta do. You gotta remove the hatred. Don't speak lashon hara. Maybe you make up, you'll try. He's wrong, so don't lend the money, but don't take revenge, etc. Now, what happened with Korach? Korach was that he felt hurt, perceived, he figured out a few things, perceived a few thoughts. A is that from he himself, that's from Korach, he's going to come Shmuel with equals to Moshe, so one was equal. B is Moshe Mistama is a mistake over here, and therefore Mistama, God can say this mistake because he knows he's right. And then he tried to organize people. The 250 people are moving to him, they're making a party. And how long does it take to make all these 250 garments of tchelas? It takes a long time to do, hand-woven, handmade, hand-dyed. It takes time. He plans this big theater, to make jest and laughter against Moshe Rabbeinu, to get public opinion against him. The whole job, a whole theatrical show to go on with the bake. So therefore, and he fixes the right time, not right away, at the right moment he tries to attack and do it. And he thinks he's right. He's ready to go for the test that they'll put the Ketores and see who wins. And he thought he was L'Shem Shemayim, but he wasn't. Because his emotions, his heart got him. But that's what was the internal aspect of Korach. But socially, what was he really doing? The social relationship of people. He was proving that he's right. And he thinks he has to prove. He really helps from the emotion, wants to prove he's right. And how does he go to prove he's right? If you're sure of yourself, first of all, you're sure of yourself and you don't realize that maybe you make a mistake. And second of all, you can hurt people. And another thing is to get people to say, yes, you're right, he's wrong. That's what he gathered the people. And besides that, he tried to undermine Moshe Rabbeinu, which was, I'm right, you're wrong, and therefore I want to undermine you. And in making the undermining action, at that point, Moshe tried to come close and make peace and tried. We saw nothing happen, and he now is going to bring the real thing in open. What was the real problem in open? The real problem was open that everybody's holy, he said, and you're also. So why this imbalance? You're above and we're below. I feel I should be above. I should be the head. Why you? We're all kadoshim, but he says all kadoshim, but really I'm going to win because I know in the future, for me, it's going to come Shiur, therefore I'm equal to Moshe Rabbeinu. And everybody else, the Ruvain and them, they wanted to be free. They didn't want any type of rule. They wanted to just be free. The 250 people wanted to get rid of any rule. He wants to be the boss. His fighting, I want the boss. And Ruvain, the tribe of Ruvain, just didn't want anybody to be boss. They wanted to have chaos. They wanted to do what they wanted, how they felt, their own way, and their own type of life. And therefore, they joined up together. But they saw at the end when Moshe Rabbeinu prayed to Hashem and the earth swelled up and they were burned. So everybody recognized that it was wrong, and the Kiddush Hashem came out. Just like Kiddush Hashem does miracles, Hashem made a Kiddush Hashem that the evil are punished. And anybody, no matter what position you are, you always have to check yourself. It says in the Torah, Korach. Every time you're in a machlokas, you have to check yourself out. Maybe you're a Korach. You think you're l'shem shamayim. Maybe emotions got a hold of you. Maybe there's alternative answers. There's a pasuk in Torah, now would be like Korach. Korach thought he's l'shem shamayim. So he thought he wasn't l'shem shamayim. He would not have gone into the fight. Anytime you're in a fight of machlekes, you think you're l'shem shamayim, even if you were hurt, let's say Moshe did hurt him, and Moshe made up the thing himself, but that doesn't make Moshe totally wrong, doesn't make you're right. If you're right in one part, doesn't mean you're right in the whole story. To get rid of Moshe altogether and fight Moshe altogether, totally. Others, all this authority. It's only one detail, not the whole story. And let's say he wouldn't have been a type of a person that wants to show he's right or rely upon his judgment. What should he have done? She said to the rabbi, Moshe Rabbeinu, I feel injustice. Let God, just like you did Benot Slavcha, you didn't know what to do, and you ask God and show a sign which is right and which is wrong. Prove to me that your judgment was right. You could have done it. Why rebellion and why all this force? This only comes from emotion. This only comes when you're one, you have aggression, you have hostility, and you want to undermine the other person. And this is the story in a nutshell. Anyway, I don't have any questions. I could have talked a little time. There's a lot to talk about here. Anyway, when you get into a machlokes, girls, check yourself in l'shem shamayim. And most people have that. Doesn't mean the other side is right. But you surely don't get it. Number two is, I want to thank everybody for participating. I'm having all these things that the girls that I want to get more. I'm putting on a computer format. And a lot of interesting things came out, good things. We got to use your forces, and then we got to work together. I mentioned to Rebbe Gold here that we're interested in our children, so if they do go and learn elsewhere, provided the right type of people and not rebellious people, we would open the doors for them. We're going to try to get new people to raise money for our kollel in the Yeshiva. In other words, the night kollel will start with, in order to increase the people to come. We definitely have to add the word, the yud, which I mentioned, which is ani in it, because the new generation needs their place, their things, their spot, seder, etc. It's a sad story, but that's what it's about.
Why?
What?
Why?
Because
what? Our children are not the way we were.
Okay, that's it. So I didn't work on. I did not work in that generation. I really had no connection. That's it. Yeah.
So if somebody does something there, that's the first thing we should try to do is talk to them?
Try to talk, but you got to know how do you talk is also, because these people blow up. The people they do that blow up and they get excited and everything. You can't talk to these type of people. I think they're right in undermining you. They want to be aggressive and knock you down. The type of that knocks down and you're in the below, and you got to stand up for your rights. So you have to know how to handle. But you have to know it's a chokhmah. It's not so simple. But you have to know there's a certain part you handle. We don't have, I don't know if God listened to our prayers to make those miracles take place, like the earth opening up and we swallow it up in your neighbor that you don't like.
How many times you just wish that would happen?
Yeah, but it doesn't work that way, you know. So you have to try to handle it and understand it. But you have to come out straight, yeah.
But what did it add that Hashem gave Korach the Nevuah about Shmuel? Like, why was that necessary? Would it change anything? Right? So
I'm sure it would have changed.
If he didn't
He wouldn't have
have
had, then he wouldn't have had the test. He would have then seen, he would have, everyone has free choice, then the test wouldn't have been a test, an equal choice test.
Because he would have himself seen that he was off.
That's right.
Without that.
That's right. That was a very important fact.
What's this thing about Esav? I never heard that
What?
Esav. I never heard that Esav.
It's a very simple story. That Esav,
You learn good mitzvah from Esav?
you learn to be able to control your emotions.
It doesn't say that he cried. That he cried.
He cried and he's ready to kill his brother, right?
And then he held back.
He held back. Why didn't he kill him? He had respect for his father. He kept that feeling inside for a long time. No. He had many opportunities to kill his brother. He could have killed him in any second. Because he respected, in other words, a certain respect he had for his father, his internal emotions he controlled. So surely us, if you have an emotion that hurts you, you can control it.
Oh, if Esav could control.
No, we surely can control it. And we can then think and work out the story, and then our emotions will go down.
But he had respect for his father. Why did he passed away? And then he turned back.
That was respect for his father.
So his father wouldn't see him.
His father won't see him.
But what about,
Okay, but he didn't believe, only believes in Olam Hazeh. That was the problem. And I gotta run, not that I don't want him. I gotta go, to Sefer Torah, and we'll see you tonight and enjoy it, whatever.
Well, thank you.
All right.